Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Dreamers Game 1 where we are playing Yomi. This is turn 47. Let's jump into things. Right off the top, we have completed Alteration 5. Now we're heading up to Alteration 6. Probably going to deviate ever so slightly. So there's that. Leroy Jenkins, the face painted with bells, god of nature, the leech, lord of the open road, has claimed the throne of the moon. Let's take a look at that real quick. That is Helheim claiming the throne of the moon, which is an interesting throne depending on what type of nation you are. Precision +3 is a pretty big stat boost, but it's precision. So this really doesn't matter too terribly much with a lot of things. It can matter on very specific units and with like your mages or things like that for specific spells. But interesting, not super big deal. But Helheim, Throne of the Moon. So there's that. What else do we got? We've got a bunch of remote site searches. My brain died, sorry. We have popped out a Harspex that finds a wood hinge in Flemistan. And then Dark Knowledge finds nothing, Arcane Probing finds nothing, Arcane Probing finds nothing, another Dark Knowledge finds nothing. Voice of Apsu finds a Wellspring of Secrets in Menace, so +1 water. And then a Harspex finds nothing. So +1 nature, +1 water this turn for our efforts at... We're trying to do more and more remote site searching. Trying to finish off getting all of our area searched to kind of little avail, it feels. But we're getting close to the end of that. And then we have some battles. So let's see what we've got going on. We've got a battle where we are attacked, or we attack, rather, in Earthsore Mountains versus... oh, no. So this is kind of a lot versus this small amount. We do have the, we are size 1, so we have better attack density. But we're roughly equal numbers, and this isn't all Yaris. This is some just Bakemono shows with clubs. Bakemono shows with clubs don't have the same punching powers as the Yaris do. So, see how it goes. Ooh. That whole square deleted. That's bad. That square deleted. Pretty close. Oh no. Did our general die? No, there he is. Oh, are they retreating? Oh no, they're not. Oh no, shit. Oh, well, that's that. Okay, so that did not go super well. We lost that one. It's a pretty close scenario. We almost popped them. That could have gone our way. Unfortunate. So we lose there. We attack with our little raiding party from Tokomochi against basically nothing, just a little bit of PD, which is going to be incapable of standing against what we have. So we win in Scythia. We get attacked in Shambolic, a little undead force. And this is dangerous. We're going to talk more about this force, but this is just up against PD, a single PD. There's nothing that can be done there, so they win in Shambolic. We get hit in Llama, counter-rated real. Oh, no. This is the army that was on Yomi last turn, has moved off of Yomi and onto Llama. So we've got a small amount of PD here, but there's definitely nothing that they're going to be able to do against this line of Rephites. So, ay. Unfortunate. Okay. So Hinnom wins in Llama. We get to witness a battle where Lanka attacks Agartha, Hinnom at Agartha, a small contingent of Rakshasa warriors. And they should be able to easily win against this amount of PD. Big smashing the whole time. Yeah, these guys are pretty, they hit hard. Quite hard. So there we go. No losses there for Lanka. We attack in the Great Mountains, raiding around with... Who is this one? This is Kotaro, yes. Iron Skin, Blessing, Temper Flesh, Summon Earth Power, Fire Shield. That's an interesting animation from the Shadow Brand, the leeching darkness around that. I don't know that I've seen that frequently. Anyways, that's a easy victory for Kotaro in the Great Mountains. We get counter-rated in Belfields. Up against 1 PD, so definitely going to lose that. And I think the same in Rolothia. Okay, so this is another slightly smaller undead force. Again, counter rating against 1 PD, so nothing that we can really do there. So, lots of counter raids this turn. Not a very good ratio for us. Oh, sorry, we have one. We got other witnesses. My bad. We watched Ubar fight some independents in Wesh. This is just a scout pinging something, I guess. So, or dying, I guess. I don't know. But we also attacked in Pistina. I forgot about this. So we had stormed the fort for Pistina. Not much going on here, and there's not much going on here. So the question is are these spirit guides and this singular Adept of the Golden Order, are they going to give us any real trouble? Got some undead coming out. And honestly, it looks like our fire did a number on the spirit guides and that Golden Order Adept. So that was pretty much it. Oh, plus I guess we have bandits with short bows. So that was pretty easy. Very minor losses across the board. Easy, we'll take that. Pistina is ours. So, for battles, we have 2 wins and 5 losses versus Hinnom. So, kind of unfortunate counter rating there for him. And an unfortunate loss of one of our bandits, of our raiding parties. So, that would have been flipped slightly. And then 1 win against Saramatia. So, that's it. Very nice. Do that. And then we have some events. So we have a rebirth event in White Forest, easy peasy. We have an unrest event in Tapanete, where a band of brigands have taken advantage of the poor defenses. So unrest is up there. And then in Menace, not seem right. In Menace, we have some more unrest. A brigand leader is emerged in the province, uniting the robbers and leading them on daring raids against our tax collectors. So we get attacked in Tapanete. And we actually do lose this force. So Tapanete is here. This is a heads up, right? So there's that. So no favorable events this turn, unfortunately. Bad. Oh no, guys, I'm tired. I apologize. It's been a long couple days. It's been a long week. But especially it's been a long couple days. This is not a rebirth event. My brain imploded. There's a freak show with local talents. So there's a fair or fair-ish equivalent weird shit. We get some gold out of this, so we get plus 210 gold. So that's what we get from events this turn, plus 210 gold. Which is nice. It's we're not dying for it, but it is pretty nice to get at this point. And that is pretty much it for messages from the previous event. Sorry, I'm gonna try to refocus and finish out this video with not horribly incorrect information. We got some important things going on. Really important things going on. This is where the Hinnom army is right now. Okay? That huge line of Rephites. This army in Shambolic, right? That is this army. Several armies, a great enchantress, several shamans, and quite a few long dead, and specifically long dead Rephites, right? If this army heads towards Menace next, which is very possible, and heads into my lands and joins up, rather, with this army in Lama, that is a force that is going to be a big problem to deal with. Assumption being, right? The inclusion of the shamans and the Amis, that's a fair amount of potential communion power there. That could be a lot of ethereal placed upon Rephites, which would be a really hard thing for us to overcome with our current options. That would be really, really, really bad. That being said, I believe Hinnom has fucked up this turn. So, as per normal, a lot of our movements are just moving around, moving Oni, moving for site searching, etc., etc. But we have one big amount of movement this turn that is, I think, the only thing that we really need to talk very much about, and that is here in Flemistan. We are moving the vast majority of the army. And that is because we can move from Yomi into Mysia and then into Flemistan. Thank you, the way that movement works, right? Like, we have the ability to move boop, boop, and potentially cut off Hinnom, as I believe, very likely, here's what I think has happened, right? If we think back to the last turn, we had just taken Mysia from Hinnom, as Hinnom had moved from Mysia onto Yomi, okay? That was the first time us attacking on Mysia. That was the first time that Hinnom got to see exactly what we were packing in this army. I believe Hinnom saw that and went, oh shit, that army will actually kill my stack of Rephites. I need to not fight that and I need to bring more to support, right? That is what I believe. And so under that assumption, what I'm betting he's going to try to do is he's going to try to move from Shambolic into Menace, move from Llama into Flemiston, and then combine their forces in Tapanete on the following turn. But we have basically lucked out, and I think we can cut him off at Flemiston. And I think this is honestly like a pretty likely prospect, right? I think I have not seen anything, right, from the Hinnom player. I have not seen anything from the Hinnom player to show me that you know, he's thinking outside of the box, or that he's especially concerned with this mechanic or that mechanic, or that he has XYZ tricks up his hand, or anything like that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I haven't seen anything that seems incredibly unpredictable from the Hinnom player yet. Which, of course, doesn't mean that they don't have anything up their sleeves that is incredibly unpredictable yet. Because you don't have to be unpredictable until you need to be unpredictable. So up until this point, right, the Hinnom player has had every reason to just march around and not worry about it. But now is the time that the Hinnom player needs to be unpredictable, or else this army is going to get destroyed. So I'm taking the gamble that they're not going to do anything unpredictable, that they're going to try to just retreat safely, and that they don't realize that I'm going to be able to cut them off with basically everything. There are a very few amount of things that we can't bring. I say very few amount of things, but really the only things that we can't bring are things like these guys, the Amano Jakus. They have, they're the bodies of the Kuro Onis and the Onis, right? But they're too weighed down by heavy samurai armor. So they have a high map move penalty, so they can't keep up. So there's that. But basically, all of the rest of my stuff can get there. So we are, again, sending out a large contingent, most of which we have some Kuro Oni to the north, some Oni to the south, a big contingent of Ko Oni, big contingent of Aka Oni, another big contingent of Ko Oni. These are all undisciplined, so they're just going to kind of run forward, which is a bit of a problem, but we have so many bodies that we're fairly okay. I probably should have clustered some of my stuff a little better, but aside from that, we also have a lot of swarm casts going off. This is just to kind of like chaff things up, and also to get into the back of their mages a little bit. There aren't very many mages, but a couple of swarm flyers could get over there and cause some trouble. And then we've got a lot of Horde of Skeletons casting going on, right? Just, again, to chaff things up. We just need bodies to chaff things up for a little while until our, our Ko-Onis, our Aka-Onis, all the Onis, right, can get in and start smashing. Because as soon as, five Ko-Onis get next to a Rephite, and it's one Rephite versus 5 Ko-Onis, right? Those Ko-Onis are going to go, right? And they're just going to play the drums on that Rephite, who might get to swing, a few times, but it's really not going to amount to anything, because every swing that Rephite has to do, he's going to have to swing, okay? If you actually hit the Ko-Onis, because remember, they're actually relatively high defense. If you actually hit that Ko-Oni, sure, you killed him, but you just knocked him into a spirit form. You've got to kill that one Rephite versus 5 Ko-Onis, has to kill those 5 Ko-Onis twice, so it's 10 kills, 10 swings that have to hit. and it's gonna take them so long to get through them. And that's just the Ko-Onis, right? Like the actual Kuro-Onis and the Onis can actually hit hard enough to at a 2-to-1 can actually just cut down a Rephite. Or bringing in, where the fuck are my other boys? Like, these guys are like the secret crazies. Aka-Onis hit so fucking hard. A 27 damage club is crazy. A cluster of Aka-Onis running into a Rephite, and they will just beat the shit out of him. And keep in mind, these Rephites are the larger variant, so they even have more HP. It's not going to matter. These guys will beat the shit out of them. And then mixing into all of that, we have a bunch of, a bunch of Dionis. We don't have anything crazy going out. I think the only thing we have from like a battlefield perspective is Curse of Stones and Divine Blessing. Curse of Stones probably isn't going to be overly helpful, but it might help encumber his army, just kind of a slight thing. We don't really have any other battlefield magic at this point yet. We're pretty far behind as far as that stuff goes. But, we're gonna have a bunch of Dionis that are, supercharging their defenses and flying into the back or attacking or what have you. So we'll have all that going on. And I'm pretty confident about this. Like I said, I'm pretty confident that he's going to move to Flimiston, that he's going to want to join these two armies. I'm pretty confident that that's going to happen. Very confident that if we catch him in Flimistan, we're just going to beat the crap out of that army. And that's pretty much it. So, aside from that, we're also sending Sune, I don't know how to say this, another Dione up to Tapanete. And then we're just kind of moving units around casually, doing what we need to do. A bunch more raiding, etc., etc. Now, my assumption is honestly, like I do legitimately think this is going to happen, that we're going to win in Flimistan, and then my plan is to just march north, take Jaburo, take Marini, look for a battle, but at that point, it's just going to be a battle against these types of units, right? Like, so it's going to be a battle against a handful of Rephites, right? Because most of his Rephites are in my territory or dead, right? A lot of them have already died. So he's not going to have very many more. He's not going to have very many turns to get more, and he doesn't have that much gold to get more. So throwing that out there, right? He's going to have a lot of long dead Rephites, and then he's going to have kind of like whatever other crud he can throw together, but he's going to have a lot of Amis, right? Which are potentially dangerous, depending on what all he has researched. And he's going to have a lot of shamans, because he's got shamans from some province. I don't know what province, though. But anyways, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3 turns to Jabero. And then, we're not going to be able to jump straight to Marini, probably, so we'll have to do, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, taking Jabero, depending on whether or not we need to send anybody in or just a whole army in. 4, 5, 6, right? Like, so we're close. We're 10-ish turns from, I think, marching a massive army into the heartland of Hinnom and potentially beating Hinnom pretty quick. So I don't know. This Hinnom might surprise me, and this might become a very long war of attrition, but I think Hinnom overplayed his hand by marching this big army of Rephites in here without any backup. That was the big thing. He should have gone for Ulm, should have connected his lens. He should have taken the peace deal when I fucking offered it forever ago, because then he could have just faced off against Lanka and tried to do what he needed to do, right? But he didn't. And aside from that, he should have gone for Ulm rather than marching all the way down to Yomi, because now he's too far in and his hand's getting caught in the cookie jar. So, yeah, that's that. Anyways, I've talked about a whole bunch of that stuff. Let's talk about some of the other things that are going on in the Empire. We have taken Pistina, so we're immediately putting a temple down there. So buildings this turn, +1 temple. So we've got that. And then we're doing not a crazy amount of rituals, but some rituals, most of which is going to be site searching, right? We've got some arcane probing going around. We've got some... So, we've got 2 arcane probing. We've got an auspex going off from somewhere over here, Masatori, right? We've got a Haruspex, and we've got 2 reanimations going on. So, let me mark that down real quick. And then we'll talk about kind of what the game plan is. The game plan, as far as like the remote site searches, we're getting really close, as you can see throughout our empire. We're getting really close to having a lot of places site searched. We're pretty low on things like augury, auspex. We're pretty low on things like gnome lore, for example, I think is something that could happen in a number of places. So my plan over the next 4 to 5 turns, because I'm not going to need every single Dione in existence or etc. etc. I plan to probably do a big surge of remote site searches over the course of the next 5 to 10 turns, so we can get everything in our heartland taken care of, off the table, done, and try to shore up some of our worse stuff. So like fire, still really bad on. Air gems, still really bad on. Water gems, still really bad on. Earth, we're great on, but it would be nice to it would be nice to hit plus 20, basically. Astral, we're just kind of mediocre on. Death gems would be nice to get more. Nature gems, again, we're kind of mediocre on. That type of thing. So kind of want to just get through all of that type of stuff. And then reanimation, we're just doing reanimations in a number of different places because we're trying to pad out things like patrollers, specifically here in Ghent, but also I think we're doing a reanimation. Am I correct or am I incorrect? Doing a reanimation somewhere. We're doing a reanimation over here. So I think specifically, if I'm remembering correctly, we are reanimating over here because I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I'm going to get my unrest and Yomi down. Because we had to, you know, we had the Rephite army drop on Yomi, and that's a shit ton of unrest right there, right? And then we had our massive demon army have to drop on Yomi, so Yomi's unrest is through the fucking roof right now, so I'm trying to pull together all of the little things that I can. Some skeletons, some, you know, some whatever, basically. We've got these guys here, ghouls, under Tejo, and I should have had these guys. I don't know why I did not this turn, but basically I'm trying to put together all of the patrolling options that I can in Yomi to try to get this unrest down as quickly as possible. So there's that. That's why we're doing the reanimations. And then aside from that, we're doing some forging, some 2 lightless lanterns. We're doing a thistle mace, and we are doing a water bracelet. So that is the forgings for turn. Note that. Let's kind of talk about why we're doing those. The lightless lanterns, we know that we're continuing to try to push our research as much as we can. And we're getting better on research. We're moving a lot of mages this turn, so that's not going to be very reflective, but we're kind of up to about like 650 or so as far as research goes. Not great for 47 turns into the game, but 47 turns into the game with Yomi, right? Because we have very, very slow abilities to recruit mages. Yeah, so we've got that, and Drain 3 is, I think, actually not doing horrible at that point. We're always going to have bad research just because of who we are and the build that we were given. So, so there's not really much we can do there. We're just trying to make the best of it. And I think we're actually starting to get to the point to where we're okay on some things. So we're continuing to push that. And then the Thistle Mace and the Water Bracelet is primarily for both boosting, but also for the progression of site search spells. So Thistle Maces are going to be super useful for us, period. But also they allow a shaman, a lizard shaman, to cast Haruspex. So I want more Haruspex going. Therefore, I need more Thistle Maces for now. But the Thistle Maces are going to be more useful later on when we're actually doing things like Mass Regeneration or stuff like that, right? Like taking a lizard shaman with a small communion, a couple of gems, Mass Regeneration, easy. The water bracelet, much a similar thing. Really, we do have the opportunity to do some boosting through this Azure Mage, right? But for now, all we're really looking forward to, is giving this wizard the opportunity to cast Voice of Apsu. So we have 2 Voice of Apsus. We can get through Voice of Apsu through our Empire that much faster than compared to what we were, basically. So that's what we are doing as far as forging goes there. Recruitment-wise, we're actually not doing much because we have very little money. Because we just don't have very much money because we have very little income. Our capital, Yomi, is a large portion of our income, and that I got crapped on over the course of the last 2 turns, so is what it is, and we're basically kind of just holding money at this point. Because, and I think this is going to happen in the next couple turns or two, I want to put a Palisades over in Grey Mountains. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do that next turn, but I do want to do that, so I think we are going to try to save some money over the course of the next turn or two to try to do that, because Helheim is becoming a big problem. And we'll use a future video to talk about that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Research-wise, we're aiming for Alt 6. We talked about this previously. We're going for End of Weakness. I think adding End of Weakness, and this isn't a guarantee, right? But we could potentially add End of Weakness into a battle against Hinnom, and that could be useful, right? So we'll see about getting that, fingers crossed, prior to some big battle with Hinnom's Last Stand or something like that. Because again, I'm telling you, I feel very, very confident in what's going to happen in Plymouth Stand. So fingers crossed that I didn't just talk through my ass, and 1, we actually do make contact, and 2, we don't get our asses kicked. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for the turn. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.